Okay, this is really messed up.
Hello.
Hello and welcome to Heroes and Generals Devstream number 80. And we are now 2 weeks since we launched the game officially. There's a lot to talk about. So first we'll cover the news, then we'll talk about deployment on maps and deploy protection. And we'll show you some heat maps, and we will do a giveaway at a random moment. And by the way, I'm Rito Gargamel, and this is Rito Deshi, also known here as...
No. Also known as No.
Some of you know what I mean. I'll say it later. Yes, it's been 2 weeks since we launched, and a lot of things happened. We have to actually, we might as well mention, we updated the game host server in Japan, the Tokyo server. And there was also a Reto Broadcasting Society challenge, which just ended and brought some fantastic results. This is on our news blog. I guess if you can show it, it's on full screen right now. Mm-hmm. So if you go to our community site and you look at the news, that's the first article on top. You'll see the winners of our trailer contest. So it was the Reto Broadcasting Society trailer challenge, and there are the winners. There will be a new challenge also for anyone who wants to participate. I think it's probably also listed at the bottom of this post. Oh. Yeah, but you see that there's quite a few of those submissions. Yes. Where's the link actually?
I don't know.
I think it's in there actually.
Where?
The forum link.
Ah.
I think so, but otherwise it's in the document. We'll give it later. Okay. I think. And there's also been a screenshot contest, screenshot competition on the Russian social media site VK, and the theme was cooperation on the battlefield. And so there were 3 winners chosen, I think, by the organizers, and we Rito got to pick the 4th winner. We'll show you the winning pictures in a second. Yes. So this is what's his name? Inkirinma. I'm not sure how to pronounce the name. So, and I don't. There were. It's not like first, second, third place, right? No. It's just there are just 3 winners plus a 4th one picked by Reto. So, this is a very unusual form of cooperation. Where did that actually work?
I don't know if it would work.
Can you carry a motorcycle on a truck?
It might slip off
without it slipping off. But this is awesome, though. How did they get it on there? That's the first question that pops to mind.
It's like the solution for the Soviet machine gun problem on the Jeep.
This is the civilian truck with a machine gun. It's even better. The next guy coming up was, I guess you pronounce it Rezidik. And here he added some name tags in there. Which is, I'm sorry, I don't read that Russian that well. It's... Obnaruje something weapon, but so and this is how do you this looks a little bit photoshopped, I guess, because I mean it's full screen, it's widescreen is what I mean. Yeah. It's like in movie format. That's pretty cool though. Nice. Okay, so I guess in their rules they allowed retouching the pictures. That's pretty cool.
What's the next one?
Yeah, the next one is Tez Discoverer with... there's no titles to these pictures, though.
No, I don't think I have the...
Okay, but so you have the whole basically Panzer Division going on here with a bunch of Hetzars and people on foot with heavy weapons.
It's nice.
Pretty awesome.
And the last one?
And the last one, that's the one we picked, isn't it? It's Valo 18 and a whole convoy of
Skytrains.
Okay. Wow.
How did that happen?
How? Actually,
Is there NPC controls or the AI controls the things?
Usually. So this is also pretty cool. Then we actually, well, thank you all for your participation in there. And we were going to move on, I guess, to what you have been working hard on. And you're not the only one who's been hard at work on all kinds of projects. Just that was the intro that I.
Yes.
It was all written down for me. The thing is, I'm standing in for Kraken, who's down with the plague. I'm kind of catching up to the program here. We were, we said we would talk about the deploy
system,
and so I can just, for people who just tuned in or are new to the game, what was changed in the launch update?
Well, the whole deploy system was completely changed, as I'm sure most of you know. There's a big feature where we moved the deploying away from the capture zones, and a huge feature that we worked on for a long time. Myself and Oxen, Retoleto, and Red Bjarne also worked on this. And now that it's out, I think it works well, but it's not perfect. Happy to have it out because there are some things, some issues that you simply need to put players playing the system, using the system to find.
So you mean that we needed people to actually use it on a large scale before we knew what worked and what could be improved?
Exactly, and I think this is the same. Every time we make a big feature, we will put it out. And I think you guys playing the game, you know that in the following updates, that big feature will get tweaked. And that's not changing after launch. I mean, it's business as usual.
Because we're still developing.
Yes, exactly the same way. So the deploy system will, of course, also be changed. And I'm just I'm here to talk to you about some of the issues we faced and how we've decided to solve them in the upcoming updates. We just had a meeting about this very recently.
Just gonna close this thing here.
All right.
Okay. But before we jump into it, so what changed was, you said deployment moved away from the capture zone. So that means the idea was you now, just as we had in the skirmish maps, an area where you deploy and it's away from the battle. Now
and you're spawn protected.
You're protected in it. We added that to the assault maps, and that came with basically a new set of design questions, which was basically how do you make sure that, for example, I have basically one here. How do you make sure that people don't stay in their deploy zones to be protected and use that as a firing position where people don't get to them? Yeah,
and of course with the it came also with a complete overhaul of all the maps and the whole flow of almost the entire game changed. So it was a huge change, and now we can finally maybe work in smaller changes and get the system to be a little bit more.
Personally, I started playing a lot more after you added that. It's more rewarding in many ways, but
we solved some problem. We've solved spawn mining was a huge issue before, and that's gone. And
you call it mining. Camping.
But when you mine a tank.
Oh, mining the spawn. Yeah,
that's
gone. So that's gone.
Yeah,
and as well as expecting the guys to appear exactly there. I mean,
but as always, when you introduce something new,
there's people who try to
introduce some new exploits and some new frustrations. I just want to.
Yeah, okay. I'll let you get started. One by one.
The first one I made an illustration for very quickly.
So that's what we were saying, basically.
This is my graphics education really paid off with this illustration.
It speaks a language that everybody can understand.
No, it's been an issue that especially tankers and recons been hanging out in active deploy zones after they've spawned, sometimes even in another deploy zone than what they were spawning in, and they've been using the spawn protection
as a shield.
As a shield against.
It's not a shield really, but it's just that. Well, if I tried to walk into it and kill you with a shovel, or a mine or whatever, I can't because my weapons are disabled. So I have to kill you from outside the zone. And if you're a tank or a recon, you have the advantage.
You have the long range.
So how do you fix that?
Well, first of all, of course, there's some level design that can be done to help this. I mean, you can make sure that the deploy zones don't have advantageous firing positions. So that's like one of the steps. But something else that we're doing, I don't know which update, but soon, is that we're going to allow players to shoot inside the zone. So basically we're going to change the spawn protection so that spawning players will still be invincible and invisible, but your weapon, if you go into an enemy zone, will not be disabled. You will be able to throw your anti-tank weapons and all that stuff. Of course, it'll still be dangerous for you because you're going into a zone where potentially invisible enemies are spawning around you. But if you see a tank hanging out in the zone, trolling, you can go in there and put...
show him how it's done.
Yeah. This was suggested actually by multiple players in the forum.
A lot of these changes you're working on are based on player feedback.
Yes.
Yeah.
Player feedback on the forums, and of course playing ourselves, and we also have metrics of various sorts.
Yeah, we'll come to that later, right?
Yeah, heat maps,
yeah.
But this is something many players requested or thought would be a good change. So we're going to try it out and see how it works. And hopefully it should also cull some of the frustration that you guys are feeling with going into an enemy deploy zone and suddenly your weapon is gone.
Which is, I think it's another point here. I was wondering, we are going to be looking at some examples of that, or not yet?
Later, yeah.
Later, okay. So I'm going to take that's point number 2, really, that sometimes you had deploy zones that were around main objectives.
Yes.
And that were blocking what the attacker's natural flanking route would be. Was, I'm going to go around here and then they're never going to see me coming. But then you walk straight into the deploy zone because... I'm going
to show you an example. This is probably one of the worst examples of this right now. When the map kind of comes down to objectives, since you have a lot of lines and objectives and everything is kind of centering in the middle of the map, the current rules makes so that there's a lot of deploy zones in the middle of the map, and many of them potentially active while you're attacking the objectives. So you might feel like something is a natural flanking route, and it just goes straight through an enemy deploy zone.
When you say active, is because they're not always...
No, they're not always active.
So when nobody controls the adjacent control point, then nobody's getting a warning while walking through there because nobody's spawning there. Is that essentially it?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. But that as the combat comes closer to the final objective, so basically you will walk through.
This is kind of a problem, especially in some maps, and then you can see here a very bad situation on town map.
So which is the one we should be looking at here? Well, don't point the screen with.
So right now there's two problems here. First of all, you got the spawn areas that are connected to the objectives. So the church spawn area is here. So if you own church, you can spawn here.
Can we see that?
Can you see
with the mouse pointer? Is that
just circle.
If you circle enough? Yeah.
Okay.
You see motion.
See it here. I hope you have good enough resolution.
So that's on the line between church and B, right?
Yes, and over here you got objective spawn for police station.
Right.
And if you own both of these points, you also have a spawn area in between if you on the line, which is right in the middle. And this, of course, becomes a huge problem when you're attacking from. If you're an attacker and you don't own church or police station, and you're coming from B line or C line.
So as soon as you get off the main streets.
Yeah. So basically, even if you're running down one of the main streets, people can spawn behind you, or you can accidentally walk into the zone, and this is very annoying, and it's kind of a strange situation. People spawning all around you. It's weird. So what we're going to do actually, let me just show you another case of this on airfield. Here you see the zone between control tower and hangar 01. It's this zone. So if you're coming from E-bunker, this area is the area in the middle with the trenches and the trees.
Yeah.
Is the area with most cover.
Yeah.
The area that makes most sense to go through. But if you're attacking control tower and you're flanking through, you're just walking into an enemy deploy zone.
Actually, I experienced that the other day. I didn't know how big an issue this was until it happened to me, and I think I was coming from the other line, but it doesn't matter. I heard snipers just going at it, and I thought, oh, they're in the trees. I'm going to go say hello. You can't.
No, it's
damn it.
It's a big problem, and we're going to address that. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the deploy zones that are between objectives. So objectives will still have their objective spawn, but they won't have the one between them. So in this case on airfield, that means the spawn zone in the middle of the trenches, it's gone, doesn't exist anymore.
So where would you move it?
It's not moved, it's deleted.
Just okay.
You can't spawn there.
So where do you spawn?
You can, if you want to spawn on the objectives, you can spawn on the objective spawns.
Aha.
So if you want to spawn on control tower, you can spawn here.
Aha.
Right? But you cannot spawn
in between.
In between. And this is really good because it's clearing up. In this case, it's really, really good because it clears up. This area is no longer, you will run into spawn protection there. And it also removes this spawn area here, which is kind of weird and on the runway.
Right. So, but this one belonged to. Okay, I see. Because it was also in the line between the objectives.
It's also on the line.
Yeah.
Is this work in progress or as it is on the game?
This is how it is on live. This is how it is on. This is how it is on live, and this is just showing the problem. But with the changes, you're going to see no deploy zones here, which should prevent a lot of the clutter. And then the other rule is that the objective spawns, the objective spawns that are belong to each objective has a spawn area that belongs to it.
So they have only one, right?
Yes.
Okay, right.
But that one now has to be rotated away from the lines. So this here objective spawn,
right?
We will move this away.
So on this screenshot, the two on the right, they belong to B4 and A4, right?
Yeah, something like that. It belongs to the objective and B4, this one.
Yeah. Okay. So there's nothing to do with the church itself.
No.
Okay. So the one for the church would have to be moved away from these houses?
Away from the lines, so that you can flank easily and.
Right.
And we're also doing some things to block them off, so that if they have to be on the line or you're close to where someone would walk, we'll make a wall or something so that you don't naturally walk into it or accidentally walk into it.
Right. So it's not a place that you're spontaneously inclined to. I'm gonna go there. It's more like if you want to go there, you're really gonna have
a hard time going. I'll show you later some of the changes I've made on Mountain Town and Forward Airfield. But basically, this should clear up some of the clutter in the middle of the map, and make sure that you don't walk accidentally into these zones. It'll also make it make the battle between the objectives more directional, so that it's not just people spawning all over the place. And it's a slight attacker buff, because defenders will not have as many zones to spawn.
I must admit, I kind of enjoyed the chaos with people going every direction instead of you know, but yeah, I see how it's better if people don't spawn behind you.
It sucks if people spawn behind you. So that's what we're doing for that. Also, I will tend to make zones that are deploy zones which are close to the objectives, a little bit smaller, so that they don't fill up so much space. Yes. So that should.
So that's for the flanking. Oh, at the point number 3, where did the bikes go?
Yes. Let me just. People are appalled that we took away their bikes and took away their medkits.
What was the story with that? Why did the bikes disappear?
It was just we didn't quite know how the flow of the new game mode would work, and so it's kind of hard to see where would you need bikes, or this is also the case with medkits. Like where do people often get wounded?
Mm-hmm.
So we're definitely going to put in a lot more bikes and put in some health kits now with the new update. How do I make this countdown go away?
Look a little bit about the look around the chat here. There's a guy, Fubard is asking.
Just ask questions if you have any.
He's asking. Well, he's not really asking. He's more commenting. But there's a question implied in there. It's like, seems like spawn mining will be back to some extent, but
no,
will it?
You cannot spawn mine because the tank will be invincible and invisible when it spawns. So if you put a tank under the spawn,
A mine, you mean?
yeah, if you put a mine under the tank spawn,
Yeah,
the tank will just spawn on it,
yeah,
blow it up.
yeah.
It won't take any damage and it won't become visible from it.
Yeah, but if you can, an already spawned tank that's hanging out in the deploy zone, if you go and put mines next to it, that one is vulnerable, right?
Yeah, if it's already visible.
If he's already visible.
Yes,
Okay.
but
It's not the same as spawn mining.
spawn mining, as I understand it, is predicting where the tank will spawn, putting a mine there, so
Yeah.
that when it spawns, it dies.
So that basically the guy does not get any chance to fight, period.
Yeah.
Whereas here we're talking about a guy who lingers in his spawn and fights.
As long as he doesn't shoot before, he will only become visible and vulnerable once he exits the zone. So he can. He has time to react to mines if there's any. He can just clear them out by driving over.
Yeah, because there's a thing. Until you shoot, you're invisible and invincible. So you could just drive around in circles and just clear everything that's in there.
Yes.
Until you're happy, and then you take care of whoever put them there.
Yes.
So, what else? Is there any other interesting questions?
Ask me questions.
Well, there's all the usual. When will you add this? When will you add X and Y? But oh.
Well, I'll just show this while you look for more questions. As you can see, I spawned right here, and incidentally, here's a new building with a bike in it.
Sweet.
And a health crate, which is pretty close to the spawn. It's not inside the spawn area because I don't think that would be, because then the bikes will turn invisible and all kinds of problems. But basically, we've put some of these sheds with bikes and health crates, some places in between the capture zones.
Yeah.
And also guaranteed, I believe. This is going to be guaranteed on all maps. I'm not completely done with it yet, but you will have bikes or civilian trucks on every capture point.
Right.
So
there's a rule for everything. So you get transport on capture or near capture points.
So if you see a collection of buildings, you go there, you might find some transport. So this is because right now people are complaining like, I don't know where are the bikes. I don't know how to.
I'm gonna be late for the battle.
Yeah, exactly. Too much walking, blah blah blah. Yeah. So now you'll find many places bikes out in the open with a shed, and on every capture zone. Oh,
is
you disconnected me.
Sorry.
that is okay. Oh, we're not getting sound from the game.
No,
Yeah.
Well, here's the sound. So here's a bike and here's a civilian truck.
Yes.
This is already there on some zones, but we're going through the zones and making sure that you have the appropriate.
Why didn't you take the truck?
Yeah. I'm just gonna fly away.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also some other things changed on this map, like more cover. You see another shed with bikes and health crate.
Ah, sweet.
This line has a lot of long distance combat, so you need a little bit of transportation there. It's not all over the place, but you know, I put them in places where I feel like people need to.
But sheds are important. They add the kind of inhabited feel to the map also.
And they can also be used as kind of cover on the line, so it's
That too.
It's kind of nice. Something else. So bikes being put back on all control points, and all capture points, and many places, other places. So the bike shortage will end. There will be plenty of bikes, and we're putting back health crates. Not everywhere, but we're using heat maps to.
Yeah, you're gonna show that.
I'm gonna show you later how
Yeah.
we look at heat maps to see where people get wounded,
Yeah.
and we put health crates to see like strategic places. We didn't want to make a rule that we didn't want to put health crates on capture zones, because we feel that like it's a little bit OP that you can capture while you're perpetually healing yourself. But on tactically important places on the map, there will be some health crates to help you. I just wanna. You might notice some changes if you notice this map.
The trees have colors.
They always have.
That was the thing that annoyed me the most, when every tree was the same color, and I thought, this bug has to go.
So something I wanted to show you how removing the deploy zones between objectives has changed the games for the better. So currently on live, if you own Airfield and Stonebridge, you would have a deploy zone right here in the cabbage field.
cabbages.
And this is showcases a lot of these problems, because people would. This spawn area does not have tanks, but people would spawn their tanks elsewhere, and they would drive up here, and they would sit here, and they would just farm the people who were moving out of this spawn area.
Sneaky bastards. So this is what's. Oh, we need to mention maybe that this is work in progress. The idea is that this will be ideally, right. We would like to release updates of all the maps all at once, if possible.
If possible.
So we're working on it as fast as we can. There's no telling when this happens.
As soon as possible.
Yeah.
We're working as fast as we can to
it might
do these fixes.
might not make it for the H updates.
No, it's kind of on the.
So
maybe not.
But we're working as fast as possible.
As fast as we can.
So this one is gone. So basically, if I look between the different capture points, because this one is between 01 and 03.
Yeah.
What about between 03 and 02?
You mean?
Where does the line go? Actually, I keep.
01, 02,
you have
03.
Right. So there is no line between 02 and 03.
Yes, 02 and 03 is Church and Stonebridge, and that used to have a spawn.
No, I mean, what was
right here?
The numbers were switched also, right?
Yeah.
So 01 is the airfield. And 02 is the bridge. That's true.
Yes. But there used to be a spawn area here, which was also active. This was not so much of a problem because people coming from the airfield, they don't naturally pass through the spawn area on their way to Stonebridge. But this other thing is removing this zone up here is going to be really good for the gameplay because as you can see,
I mean, there was a lot of fighting happening in there anyway.
let's see the defenders owning airfield and owning Stonebridge, and you're spawning at church as an attacker. You've captured church, so you have to capture Stonebridge. So if you go in the most direct line, you would go straight through their deploy zone, which would be very annoying.
Yeah. But people, I mean, I remember before the launch update, people were always in those cabbage fields, you know,
and hopefully it'll be like that again.
Not making cabbage soup, let me tell you.
Actually, I'll just show you something not related to anything else.
Kan du lige skrive sync.frame og så tab 1?
Sweet.
So you'll see I added a hole in the wall here for church.
Oh yeah.
So it's another entry point to the O3
that's
capture
new.
zone. For people who... I want to reactivate this cabbage patch area so that people can fight in it instead of having all kinds of deploy zones there that are just annoying players. So that's really going to help. Another thing you'll see, talking about the rules I said earlier, that we're moving the objective spawn away from the lines, is that airfield's objective spawn used to be right here, and now
that's in the way.
It's been moved over here because when you were attacking from Stonebridge and trying to cap airfield, you'd have to run basically through the enemy deploy zone. So now moving it away from the attack lines is beneficial to not having players run into an enemy deploy zone, etc., etc.
Is the ford crossing there? Is it just me who wasn't paying attention? Is this new also?
It came with the launch update.
Oh, I didn't even notice it.
I also added some more trees. Just actually, there's one tree and some bushes
Right.
to give a little bit more cover moving here. Like it, this is based on heat maps. I can see where people die, and if I don't want them to die there, I'll add a little bit of cover.
Yeah. If basically everybody's just getting mowed down in the same spot, then you want
I think if you
more random, right?
If you played forward airfield, you know that this area is. You play a lot in it, and it's very open. So now it's a little less open, and you don't have a weird deploy zone right next to there.
Yeah, because there's so many. I mean, especially between 01 and 02, there's so many places you can snipe from.
Yeah.
I can see where this is going.
But lots more bikes, lots more health crates.
Slow down.
Okay.
Our movements and everything.
Face.
Yeah. So you got bicycle.
And is this something you can show on this map? The access point deploy zones.
Yes. I'm gonna try to be slow. But another rule that we kind of have, based on experience, is that when the last deploy zone or the first deploy zone on the line, the access point, we want that area to be spawn area or deploy zone to be much bigger, because currently, like if that zone is active, that means that the defenders have pushed the attackers way back to their first objective or the first capture zone.
Yeah.
And in this situation, you'll see if the deploy zone is too small, you'll see farming because defenders can just surround the zone and kind of pick people off as they're leaving.
Whatever you can predict where people have to go, there will be somebody who says, well, it's farming time.
So kind of a new design rule is that the access point deploy zone will be very big. This is a much bigger...
So as a comparison, like how much bigger is it than on this picture compared to how it is on live right now?
On live, it would be just on this road, or just around this road, and now it's like in a
Crescent
much broader front that you attack from. So it'd be harder to anticipate where people are leaving the zone. Yeah. Also, we want to slightly move those zones a little bit further away from the access point, so that we will have more situations where if the defenders push you out, they close the line. Because I don't think it's that fun to be farmed for, or to be in a situation like that for a long time.
No.
So if you're pushed back, the game should kind of
Speed up.
yeah.
So it's easier for the defender to finish you off when you're at the access point, but not by farming you, but by capturing.
So we want to
Yeah.
dissuade farming and encourage you to capture the last point.
Right.
So hopefully that'll be good. And that's happening for all access points on all maps.
So
it's getting bigger access points.
So so the capture zone is bigger, but the time it takes to capture it doesn't change, does it? Or
no, I mean the deploy zone is bigger. Sorry. I fly around these maps a lot, so I can fly. I know where I am. No, the capture zone stays the same.
I'm sorry, so I misunderstood you. So it's just is this a little bit removed from the?
Yeah, the deploy zone is larger. The spawn area,
Right.
which is behind the.
So, but how does that make it? I misunderstood, and I thought there was an advantage for the defender in terms of.
Yes, but by moving the zone a little bit away, so that they don't spawn right next to it.
It is also moved away. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, now I understand.
If they spawn right next to it, it's very hard to cap the last point.
Yes.
In this case, A1, it'd be very hard to capture it if they're just spawning right next to it, and then you'd go to farming.
Right.
But if you make the zone much bigger and move it further away, it'll be harder to farm and easier to finish the game or finish the line.
Good.
All right.
I guess does this cover it for access points? Was there no? There's nothing else you wanted to show in here. No.
No.
That was a great one.
It was a great battle.
So we were at look at paper.
Yes. I'm out of beer.
And so
Can I drink it?
go ahead. There's plenty for you. So as we were saying, when this comes out depends on how many changes are necessary on each map.
Yes. It's just people on the forum have been asking us like, what are you going to do about some of these issues? And we just wanted to come out here and talk to you as early as we could about it. Just we're working on it, and we'll get it. We'll make changes as fast as we can.
And this is where we were at. You were going to show us a heat map.
Yes, actually, just to show you how we place health crates and how we generally evaluate the flow of the map. Just wanted to show you some heat maps from post launch build. I am going to show you. Just people have been requesting this as well. For me to show you some heat maps. And I'd love to, because heat maps are so pretty. Can they see it? Oh,
are we looking at it? We can't have it bigger, can we?
yeah, but I'll.
Move it to the right.
Yeah, because we're there we go. There we go.
Okay. It might be a little bit stretched now, but.
Just so people who haven't seen this before get the idea, this is a map of different events that have been happening on a given
This is
level.
a tool we use to evaluate how the maps work on live.
So this is a bunch of battles that basically the logs from several battles that have been stacked together.
Yes.
Right?
This is something like 10, or I don't know how many I chose, like 8 or 10 battles on Mountain Town.
Mm-hmm.
And
so you see where people have been traveling.
yes, the green color shows you vehicles, where they go. And blue colors, I'll just zoom in a little bit so you can see. The blue color shows you infantry movement,
Nice.
or moving on foot. And the red splotches that you see is death.
Yeah. And the splotch gets bigger if more people die in the same spot or something?
It doesn't get bigger, but it gets more red.
Right.
So individual deaths will be very vague, while something like, I'll just show you. This is
O2, isn't it?
This is train station.
That is O1.
Yes. So you got the train station area, and you can clearly see that
It's a carnage.
if you go into the train station building on the train station,
Won't get old.
you're much more likely to die. Lots of people hiding out there. Lots of people dying there. You see a huge red cluster of death and movement. So you can also see something else that's interesting. This blue line is the pipe bridge,
Yeah.
which infantry moves across. Interestingly, you're very likely to die in the beginning or the end of the pipe bridge,
So you should stay in the middle.
but you're okay in the middle. I think this you kind of get into range of people on the train station,
Right.
so
It means people don't aim very well.
yes.
But also, it looks like the water is very safe.
Yes, actually, huge surprise. Some people are saying like we're the only way to attack the docks, the dock area, is by going across the bridge up here. But as you can see, actually swimming across the river is quite safe. Quite safe. Safer than I would have anticipated by just what I would think. I would think you'd be a sitting duck in the water. But maybe take out those amphibious vehicles and go across there, or just swim. It's not not far, apparently.
It's a nice place to use them, though.
Yes.
There's plenty of opportunities to go in and out of water with them. So
Yes. So basically we can use this to see how the flow of the map works, and if we see some splotches of red, we know that people die there. It's probably likely that if you die there, it's also a place where a lot of people get wounded.
But there's some places where it's okay that most players should be fighting and dying there, because
Yes.
it's where the battle is intended to happen.
Yes, if we see a huge red splotch near a deploy zone, then we know that there is some farming going on, and we need to change our design. But also we know that areas that have a lot of red in them could use some health crates. And
Of course.
and then you add some health crates, and you release a new update, and you get the new heat map, and probably the red is turned down a little bit, and not as many people die there.
It's pretty cool. So that basically the maps get to evolve with the player behavior.
Yes,
Which is cool.
This is also why we didn't have that many health crates in the launch build. It's because we knew we were changing by making the new spawn system. We knew that we were changing the way the whole flow of the map. So we didn't really know where to add health crates.
So waiting to know, you were basically waiting.
Yeah, so
instead of just putting them at random.
Yeah, because if we just put them at random, we might have to move them, or we need the data from you guys. So thanks for the data.
So in a way,
thanks for dying. It's
the ultimate sacrifice for a better game flow.
But you'll see health crates making a comeback.
So this being said, that I guess that covers it for the discussion of. Oh no! Actually, we also used user feedback.
Yes, of course. a lot of people
Did
talking
did
about.
you have like specific instances of that, or because I just have this note here?
Yeah, I have. What specific case? I can't remember a specific case.
Because I mean, we do get.
There was one user, so a couple of users on who on Airfield. They said they didn't like the large stack of crates and stuff on the runway because they think it doesn't look natural.
Yeah.
And I agree. And now that we've been able to remove those deploy zones, I felt like it doesn't need to be there because I don't need to shield off a deploy zone from enemy fire. So I've removed some of that. So that's a case of talking to the users and
right. No, because
Theater in this case posted a lot about not liking that area. So there you go. It's now been toned down a bit. Toned down a little bit. Yeah. Do you want me to show the changes in Mountain Town, or?
Yeah, that would be great actually if we have some. Do we have time?
Are people interested, or?
I'm sure they are interested, but it's more a question of how long we can afford to go on. Cool.
Let's go. Just do it quickly.
No,
I would show you other heat maps. Actually, see if I can do something cool.
Maybe I can do it as well.
Okay. Just while I'm waiting, I'll show you something cool.
Mm-hmm.
This is not.
Controllers disable spawn. No countdown. Something.
Yeah, controllers disable.
Okay.
Yeah, like he said, not disable spawn countdown. Override. It's override. Override spawn count. It sounded wrong. So controllers override.
Remember the giveaway as well.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's on his computer. Override start countdown. But both of them start countdown and spawn delay, I guess.
All right. Let's go. Yes. I don't know if this bike shed was here before, but you've got some bike shed. All right. Let's go flying. In this map, actually, if we show the...
I got some user feedback actually for the forward airfield. Pitbull 1973 says, could you ask this sheet to move the Panzerfaust crate that's near the church on the forward airfield because the tanks park on top of it.
Park on top of what?
On the Panzerfaust crates, so you can go get them.
They park on top of them to block it?
To block it.
Wow.
So,
I don't know what I can do about that.
but that's for your consideration.
Maybe add another one so that you don't.
That sounds like a no-brainer.
If you know this map, you know that before or currently on live, if you're spawning between B2 and B3, you would be spawning on this hill. That spawn has now been moved over here to move it away from C-line. This is another thing, we want to move the lines apart from each other so that you don't get a lot of overlap. You don't get we don't want it to be more beneficial to spawn on another line and it'll just be closer.
As a flanking advantage.
It's very annoying if the defenders have the line that is right next to you when you're attacking and defenders are spawning beside you, or
they're spawning two places basically that are very close, and
so both in front of you where you're actually attacking, but also to the side of you or behind you on another line. So we're trying to spread it out a little bit.
So this is not on live, right?
This is not
on live. No,
this is also work in progress.
This is the edits that we're hoping to get out as soon as possible.
Yeah, this is funny because this is also something I tried out. On that hill, there's a lot of fighting that went on specifically that hill. People were just focusing on getting. I guess people like to get back at each other also when they die.
Yeah.
So you end up not really moving forward. People just go and look for where is that guy.
Yeah.
And Everybody
that's
was on that
definitely
hill.
changed. Yeah, so basically, this this deploy zone was also very annoying because when you're coming from A-line, you're coming from out here, and you want to cross. You have maybe you have captured A3, and you want to move across the bridge to capture docks. This zone is very annoying because if the defenders own B-line, they can spawn here, and then the spawn protection zone used to be this whole entire thing, and they could just stand here and shoot at you as you were coming from A3. So now there's only spawn protection inside the buildings. I've also removed. There used to be a ladder here, which kind of incentivized people coming from A-line
To
swim across and go, like using it as a flanking maneuver.
Oh, and then they would walk straight.
They would walk straight into
a
the
death
zone.
trap. Yeah.
So now this one has been blocked off, so you can't enter it from the water. And I've also expanded the river a little bit. So if you're using this bridge to flank, you're likely to go around it and not enter the zone. I mean, it'll still annoy you potentially that people are spawning in these houses, but at least they'll, you won't drive into the zone naturally, and the minute they exit the buildings, they'll be visible to you. So hopefully that'll lessen.
I mean, to a certain degree, when you know that there's a building that's not the objective, it might be a spawn zone. I mean, if it's out of the way and it's
true, but
it's kind of like when you say it might annoy you, and at some point you have to be annoyed it's a war.
Yeah, but it's true.
Those
annoying
enemies are always
spawning will never be perfect.
No,
there will always be people exploit. No matter what system you choose, there'll be people abusing it. But we can do our best to improve it all the time, try to make it better.
I guess if I get it right, it's kind of a balance between preventing systematic farming because you know exactly where the guys are going to come from.
Yes.
And then adding so much flexibility that enemies come from every possible place that.
So this deploy zone is so close to the objectives, and making it as small as I've done now. Of course, this zone is going to be easier to anticipate where people are leaving. It's going to be easier to camp this zone because it's closer, but it has to be done because it's kind of like
because it can camp also.
Yes,
I mean that's the thing. So who camps who?
Yes,
really.
So it's a balance.
Yeah.
You have to decide on an individual level. You can't say a deploy zone should always be this big. On an access point, it's great to have a huge deploy zone, but if you're close to an objective, maybe it's okay that it's smaller so that it doesn't annoy the gameplay too much. Yeah.
Because in the end, I mean, you win if you capture. So that's the thing. Also, it's like it shouldn't be too easy to camp.
No.
Either as a defender or an attacker.
You see another ship with a bicycle and health crate. There.
Mathieu, are you?
Sorry.
You still working on this map, or?
No, this map has already been sent to the QA department for testing. So.
I think it's. It might be time for a giveaway.
Let's do it.
We'll get back to the map later.
Yes. Should I do it?
Yeah, do it.
Not do it here. So we're going to do a giveaway?
Yeah.
Just move it to the next one.
Yeah, we have to see it.
Okay.
You have to see it. So you.
So the raffle command is.
You have
gold?
to actually. It's all it's all set. So you have to type ! gold. I don't know if it's my laptop that's lagging. Normally they're kind of doing it ahead of time. Oh no, it started. Okay,
I've started it.
It started.
Hit it.
Hit it.
Here it comes.
Theater's here. Hey, I removed that stuff that you were complaining about in the forum.
Is that how you pronounce it?
I don't know. Exeator?
Xeator.
I don't know.
Exeator.
Silverleg is here.
The usual suspects.
All right.
And
Everybody wants those.
Everybody wants 1,000 gold.
Or a puppy. Someone who should give away a puppy.
Everybody wants to rule the world.
Was that Tears for Fears?
I think so.
Can you explain the yellow and the red colors and the
Yeah.
strong stuff? Circles and the lines
No, this is the deploy thing.
in the game.
The thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's with the red?
So the yellow shows the small circles show infantry spawns, and the bigger circles show a small vehicle spawn or a large vehicle spawn.
Aha.
And
It says so. Even,
yes,
it's
you
even
can see it on
labeled.
foot. The yellow spawns are spawns that are placed automatically by the system, and the red spawns are spawns that are placed by yours truly, because the system doesn't know which way you want to turn your vehicle. So, you see this small vehicle spawn right here.
Yeah, you don't want to be facing into the.
If I just let the automated system place it, it might spawn you facing this wall.
Yeah.
That would suck. So I
Yeah.
custom spawn you so that you can drive out this.
Handcrafted to perfection.
Let's do the giveaway.
Yeah. What about the yes? Because now there's people entering puppy icons.
Stop entries.
So who is the winner of a?
Who are you?
Of a puppy? Ernest Officer. Will you manifest yourself?
Right in the chat.
Right. Any crazy thing you want, such as hello.
He's not writing anything. Is he alive?
Is he alive? Is he alive? We will allow a few seconds for him to react.
He writes thanks. There he is.
Awesome. So you are the lucky winner of how much was it?
1,000 gold.
1,000 gold. Congratulations. Splixen will contact you with the money. And thanks for playing. So we will, I guess, go back to.
No, we can.
Yeah. What's the red lines in the sky? What's up with that?
Those are plane spawns. So for the planes. Yeah.
Ah. Okay.
You can see another rule or change from the current version on live is that the objective spawn for the ducks is now kind of shielded off. Like I said, with walls, it's kind of walled off, so the people who are approaching the city from the forest are not accidentally walking into the deploy zone. Yeah, it has some different points of exit. Tanks can exit from here and here. Yeah. So, and also it is moved as far away as I can from the lines. You can see also the objective spawn from the train station has also been changed. And hey, this is also a user request. Lots of people asked me to bring back the original train station building.
Oh yeah, it had a little what do you call it, porch?
Yeah, and had just a lot more interesting stuff.
Yes.
So.
No, it has furniture.
A lot of veterans like that, and so I made some space for it.
Sweet.
But the deploy zone for the train station is now up here, and is also shielded off on the side here. Like people cannot enter the zone, and there's not a good line of sight into the zone from coming from A line and spawning there. You also get like a little bit of change in the terrain, so
it looks so much more like a mountain, I must say.
Yes.
That is. But it's so great. It's funny for those who've been playing the game a long time ago. There was a gigantic mountain at some point, and now it's not even that high, but it feels like a mountain.
Yeah,
I really like that. It's just a question of trees and textures and yeah.
Maybe in the future we can also bring some. We used to have a background terrain with like higher mountains, so that you would see mountains in the background. I think we're also eventually going to bring that back.
Oh, cool!
I don't know. It's
a possibility.
It's a possibility.
Okay.
Yeah, but I just wanted to show you that we have been listening to your feedback, and the new spawn system is going to get better. We're just going to continue improving the game every update, as we do.
Yes. I guess. this is the time to wrap it up. So let's wrap up with basically a recap of what we talked about. There was some, of course, news coverage, and we talked mostly, essentially, about the upcoming changes to the deploy system, and we showed a heat map. And actually, that was we had few topics, but we covered them in depth. You can start the whole thing from the start if you just tuned in by watching us on Twitch, or we will put this whole Devstream on YouTube later on. If you want to follow us on Twitch, there's an option there in that side of the screen. To follow this channel, and you can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Steam, and of course our very own website, www.heroesingenerals.com. And you don't even have to type HTTP anymore. :// that's how old I feel sometimes. So, and we will be back Friday, the 21st of October. In the meantime, I think I'm going to go join you on the live servers later on. So you have a great weekend. Thank you for watching, and thank you for playing.
Bye.
Bye.